bro.
Hey guys, it's Pete at Rage Quit Central.
And John.
And today we are going to do races and classes, which is all going to be in the core rule book. All the races are dwarf, halfling, elf, human, gnome, half orc, half elf. They're all right there. Now I'm going to show you how I did my character. First, I'm going to make this guy a human. So, now that he's a human, I think I'll give him a human name. I will name him Memric Longtoe. And this is just going to show you how to fill out your character sheet pretty much. So, now that I got those two things, my race and my name, I'm going to write level 1 because I'm just going to start at level 1 for this tutorial. Now with all these other little lines and stuff, you don't have to fill them out, but you can fill them out if it really makes you feel better, because most of these don't really matter except for alignment. Alignment just means what you're going to do and how evil you'll be in the whole storyline of the game. And now that I have my level, I'm going to put fighter because that's the class I'm going to do. I'm going to have a human fighter. That seems pretty legit. Now, how you get the hit points is, if you look above the class, it should say how many dice to roll and what kind of dice. So, for a fighter, you roll 1d10, and I got a 7 out of 10. So you want to write it for your total, your wounds, and your non-lethal damage, because all your health is the same, and you're going to need to change it every now and then. Alright, so to get your strength, dexterity, Constitution, Intelligence, Wisdom, and Charisma, the thing you have to do is you have to roll 3d6. So that means 3 six-sided dice, like so in my hand. And what you do is you roll 8 times. So once you roll those 8 times, you pick the better out of 6. So whichever ones are better, and then you fill them in depending on what class you are. So if you're like a wizard, you put them on wisdom and maybe intelligence. And if I'm a fighter, so I'd probably use the 18 on my strength, and I'd use the 17 on my dexterity. So now I'm just going to fill in my strength and my dexterity, my constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and my charisma. For my intelligence and wisdom, I'm a fighter, so I'm not going to really need that. And my charisma, I'm not going to need that much. Constitution, maybe a little bit more. And basically, I'm not even going to use the lower numbers because I don't really need to, because I rolled 8 instead of 6. And now that you wrote all these down, what happens is that there's modifiers. So for 10 and 11, there's a +0 modifier. The next modifier is for 12 and 13, there's a +1 modifier. So I'm going to write a +1. For 14 and 15, there's a +2 modifier. I'll write that. There's also a chart that shows you this. I'll probably put this on the video and link to it on the description. And 16 and 17, it's going to be a +3. 18 and 19 is going to be a +4. And so on and so on. It just keeps going up by 2s. Alright, so now that you've done all this, you should probably work on your armor class, which is the armor for your guy. I mean, eventually you'll probably get armor when you're doing items, but now let's work on armor class. So now you're going to add your dexterity modifier, which is +3. Now I'm going to add my size modifier, +0, because my guy's a medium size. That will get me a +13. But I might have to change that later because I might get a shield or some new armor. So that will probably change. Now, flat-footed is with no dexterity. That means someone caught you off guard. So that means you don't have any dexterity bonus. Touch means that you don't have any armor. Like, it just takes your armor away, which I don't have any right now, so it doesn't matter. That's like if a magical spell went through your armor. Now I'm going to work on initiative. That's dexterity modifier and other modifiers. So that when it says mystic modifiers, that means a magical spell that's been casted on you that increases that for a certain amount of time. something like that. And that usually helps you a lot. So now you're just going to add the modifiers for this. If under the word you see like fortitude, there should be words under there. Those words will indicate your ability up above. So you take that modifier and put it in these ones. So I have Constitution modifier, I have my Dexterity modifier, and I have my Wisdom modifier, all on Fortitude, Reflex, and Will. And now I go to the page for the fighter, and now I write my Fortitude, Reflex, and Will, and it shows a graph on what to write it on. So just look at the graph, and it should tell you your level and how much you have. Right now I'm level 1, so I'm just going to get Fortitude, which is still a good start considering that I'm level 1. So now on that exact same chart, before it says all these, it should say base attack bonus. If you see below Will right there, it's base attack bonus. And it's not going to be too high right now because I'm a level 1, but you know, at least it's something. And that is going to be a +1 right now. So now I'm going to work on my combat maneuver bonus, my CMB, and I'm going to start with my base attack bonus, +1, plus my strength modifier, +4. That's going to equal a total bonus of +5. So now on to my combat maneuver defense, which is my CMD. Alright, so now, to get your CMD, you have to go +10, and now your dexterity bonus, which is +3. Now my strength, +4. And now my base attack bonus, +1. And altogether, that's going to be +18. So, now that I have my total, I'm going to tell you what that is on a later episode. And I hope this helps for now. I know starting a new character is hard for your first time. It's a little overwhelming. I know exactly how hard it is. I had to learn it all on my own, and it was very difficult for me. So that's why I made this video series, so that way I could step by step help you guys through it. And it wasn't so hard as it was for me. I had to read the entire book, and it was very heartbreaking for me because I had to read it all. Alright, so now if you see all these bonuses, like I said, they're all for magic bonus, so those will just start to add up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some racial modifiers. So on your race, where it says like your race and stuff, it says add this, add that, and what basically you have to do for a human is you have to add 1, 2 bonus. 1 plus 2 bonus modifier. So to my dexterity, I added a +2. So now I'm going to have to go back to all my dexterity and replace it with a +2, which is kind of a pain in the butt. I should have done that first, but, you know, I'm trying to show you all the racial stuff. So now my language, like I just put before, my language is English, and my guy's not that intelligent, so he only gets 1 language. Now my speed is also dependent on my race, which is a 30-foot movement, which is divided by 5, so that is 6 squares. So on the board, it's 6 square movement. So everything you do is like divided by 5 because I guess there's 5 feet in each square. So now I'm going to add up my fortitude, reflex, and willpower, or just my will. And this has been Pete at Rage Quit Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and visit us at RageQuitCentral.com.